Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is September the 5th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Friday to ya. Hopefully, this energy finds you, catches you well, catches you good, even if you're not listening on a Friday. As for me, my day was pretty good. Still feel like I'm kind of climbing out of a mental hole in a way, but overall, the day was good. It was good to me. We got to work. It was a lot lighter than it has been all week, so that was good. It was a little bit weird because, of course, today they decided to give me some additional help at the very end of my day, which I really didn't need. But hey, it's all good. I had a good conversation about gardening from one of the people who came down to work, so I learned a little bit about some vegetables and planting seasons and whatnot. So that was kind of cool. That was fun. And overall, I had a couple other good conversations with some coworkers, so I'll take it. I will say though, at the end of work, my stomach started feeling weird again, and I was like, am I gonna have to go home and like relax for a second, take a breather? And I said, nope, we're not doing that. I'm going straight to the gym, just like we planned, just like we always do. And I went, and I just wasn't locked in. Like it was kind of my stomach. It was in kind of me just not really being focused, hopping on my phone, zoning out. I just wasn't locked, and that was a bit of a bummer. But overall, the workout was good. It was solid. It just added an extra 30 minutes plus to my workout that just shouldn't it shouldn't have been that way because I just wasn't there, and that was a bit upsetting. But overall, good workout, okay workout, and overall the workouts this week have been good, so we'll take it. But yeah, post that, we got home and now we're here yapping it up. So let's go ahead and do our startup and get into some news. From CBS News, 475 people detained in Georgia Hyundai raid by ICE, other agencies, officials say. In a large-scale immigration enforcement raid at a huge Hyundai facility in Georgia on Thursday, 475 immigrants suspected of living and working in the U.S. illegally were detained, federal authorities announced. Stephen Schrank, the special agent in charge of Homeland Security investigations in Georgia and Alabama, told reporters Friday that the majority of those detained were Korean nationals, but he didn't know exactly how many. They worked for a variety of different companies at the site, including subcontractors, he said. No criminal charges were announced during Friday's news conference. The sweep was conducted as part of a months-long investigation and allegations of unlawful employment practices and other federal crimes, Schrank said. He described Thursday's raid as the largest enforcement operation at a single site in the history of the Homeland Security Investigations, which is a unit of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This operation underscores our commitment to protecting jobs for Georgians and Americans, ensuring a level playing field for businesses that comply with the law, safeguarding the integrity of our economy, and protecting workers from exploitation, Schrank said. Some of those detained Thursday allegedly entered the U.S. illegally, and others were accused of overstaying their visas or violating visa waivers by working, Schrank said. Most of the detainees were taken to an ICE facility in Folkston, Georgia, near the Florida-Georgia state line. They will be moved based on their individual circumstances beyond that, Schrank said. ICE said in a statement Friday night that those arrested during the operation were found to be working illegally in violation of their terms of their visas and or statuses. One green card holder from Mexico was arrested after being determined to be removable from the U.S. based on multiple criminal convictions. That's wild. That's why. Like, essentially, they said, "Oh, well, he has a green card. He is legally here. Like, he's here legally, but like, he's just done a bit too much yucky stuff. So we're gonna just say you should go. We're gonna you can get the boot. Like, that's fucking wild. I mean, at least to fucking me, I should say." In ICE's statement Friday night, Schrenk said the operation sends a clear message that those who exploit the system and undermine our workforce will be held accountable. Really? Is that really what it means? Because it's not like we're going to hold Hyundai to a court here. Let's face it. At the very worst, they maybe get a fine that they can totally fucking pay off. They were fucking making it off of the fucking labor that they were using illegally, that they were charging probably or giving less money to anyway. It is wild to sit here and say that we are doing, America a favor. We're doing Georgia a favor by doing a raid like this. Let's see. The president of Georgia's chapter of AFL-CIO called the raid politically motivated and said ICE has been escalating its presence at workplaces across the state. This raid is the latest in an ongoing campaign of harassment that has targeted immigrant Georgians as they try to earn an honest living. Yvonne Brooks said in a statement, "Arresting and detaining workers who are exploited every day and risk their lives every day on the job creates an atmosphere of fear that terrorizes workers and their families and increases the workload burden on their coworkers." Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, this is something that I found to be pretty unfortunate. And then the cherry on top is Hyundai's statement. Based on our current understanding, none of those detained is directly employed by Hyundai Motor Company, it said. Hyundai is committed to full compliance with all laws and regulations in every market where we operate. This includes employment verification requirements and immigration laws. We expect the same commitment from all our partners, suppliers, contractors, and subcontractors. And this is where you kind of see the line here, and we've kind of covered this whole cycle in other companies, other businesses, other situations where you go, oh, this wasn't us, right? Like, we didn't directly hire these people. We didn't know. We didn't know what their statuses was. We just knew that the work requirements were getting fulfilled, and that's all we cared about. And essentially, it allows you to kind of point the finger at them and say they hired these people. They were just in our building. When it's like, you guys know what's going on. You know how the day is getting done. So, it's crazy that we get to just ruin some people's lives, say that we're doing, like I said, Georgia a favor, and we're holding people accountable when really, like, once again, the people who are establishing this whole fucking loop, who run this company are not going to be on the hook for it. So that to me is very frustrating, very sad. But I just wanted to start off with that story. We're going to move on, though, to Thailand, coming out of the BBC. Thailand names third prime minister in 2 years. Thailand's parliament has chosen business tycoon Anutin Charnvirakul as the country's prime minister, the third in 2 years after yet another leader was removed from office. Pengaton Shinawatra, who belongs to Thailand's most powerful political dynasty, was removed by Constitutional Court last week for ethical violations over handling of the border dispute with Cambodia. Anutin's Bunda Thai party broke from the coalition led by the Shinawatra Food Thai party and secured enough support in parliament to win premiership. But the uncertainty may not be over for Thailand, which has seen multiple administrations deposed by court interventions and military coups in the recent past. Anutin's rise to premiership deals a significant blow to the Shinawatra family, which has dominated Thai politics since 2001, when Pengaton's father, Thaksin, became prime minister. On Thursday night, there was intense scrutiny in Thailand of a private jet carrying Thaksin out of the country. Early on Friday, he posted on social media saying he had flown to Dubai for medical treatment and that he intends to return in time for a September 9th hearing for a court case that could put him back in jail. His Pheu Thai party, which emerged as a major player in the 2023 election, is now on the sidelines. It had one remaining candidate for Prime Minister, Chakasim Natasiri, who has little public profile and is in poor health. In the past, the Shinawat's populist policies gave them wide support among lower-income Thais, but put them at odds with Bangkok's conservative royalist elite. Both Taskin and his sister Yingluck, who served as prime minister after him, were ousted by military coups in 2006 and 2014, respectively. And they talk about Pengatarn becoming prime minister, but we know that she is now gone over her phone call with Hun Sen. Had a whole political row. We've covered that a couple times. So skimming ahead a bit, and the Futai-led coalition formed the government only after the Reformist Party that won the election was prevented from doing so, which I believe was a Move Forward Party. But now they have been reconstituted after they were forced to break up, and now they are the People's Party. And they are very much a part of the coalition that is, helping out, propping up Newton. So that's very key here. Newton only has 69 seats out of 500. I'm sorry. So the Bundatai Party, which I learned from reading this article, is proud to be Thai. That's neat. But they only have 69 seats out of 500 in Parliament. So you had to have multiple parties, 2 other parties at least, coalescing and propping you up so that you can have power. But the People's Party said, look, we'll do this, but you have to promise that you're going to hold elections in 4 months. So essentially, he's already coming in as a lame duck, but not just a lame duck with a short countdown on his head saying, you need to do another election so that we can actually get real power here, not whatever the fuck this is, not this bullshit. So, I mean, we'll see how, politics get conducted in Thailand for the next few months, see what develops, what's happening. See if Taskin comes back. I mean, he had come back out of exile before. Things were looking good for him. Maybe he was gonna, beat these cases, or they were all gonna be gone now. But maybe he's just gonna be gone again. And we'll see. That's really more or less all I have. I mean, those are at least the big main stories that I wanted to at least talk about. But I figured that we'd kind of round out the episode, just kind of doing some headline hunting. So let's go ahead and do our last break. And then we'll go ahead and close it out, like I said. With this is a couple of headlines, and we'll hit a little bit of details on them, but that'll be it. All right. Reading one headline from The Guardian. Trump signs executive order rebranding Pentagon as Department of War. So we went from the Department of Defense, to the Department of War. That is a callback to before, I believe, World War II. I think after that, we changed to the Department of Defense. Apparently, Trump thinks that's woke shit. He thinks it's bullshit. He thinks it's lame. And we should be talking about being on the offense, not the defense, which is just a crazy fucking thing to say, especially after you blew up a fucking speedboat with 11 people on it, saying, hey, we're going to make sure that no drugs get to America. It's that intense for us. Okay, all right, we're literally doing gunship diplomacy right now. I guess it's warranted. And on that shit, I kind of like, you know what, fuck it, let him cook. We are, fucking, War Department. It is fitting, that has been our mindset the whole time. And maybe it is good that we're just going to be mask off about it for at least, the next fucking 4 years or more. Who knows, man? I've been hearing a bit. They've been doing polls and surveys because apparently people are really liking Gavin Newsom's jib lately. But they're like, oh, who would win in projected polls and elections in 2028? And I think it has Gavin Newsom inking it out or whatever. I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it's Gavin Newsom. I don't give a fuck if it's Pete Buttigieg. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if it's goddamn Kamala Harris. I don't give a shit, man. You know what I mean? Sure, I hope any one of those motherfuckers win, and it's not a conservative pick. It's not J.D. Vance. It's not Trump forever, our God Emperor. But either way, these outcomes are still the same. We still have the same goddamn department doing the same goddamn things for, insert administration here. Also, a little fun fact, they changed it to war.gov. I'm like, I love that. That's fun. That's sleek. That's sexy. Anyway, and then our last story that I wanted to just bring up, coming out of Al Jazeera. Air Canada flight attendants reject wage offer. So we had covered that this was more or less wrapped up, I want to say a week or two ago. And I was thinking that was that. But at the end of the day, the people do have the final say, the workers. It's not just the top heads who hammer out an agreement. At the end of the day, if the flight attendants, if the employees go, no, this isn't right, it's not enough, it's not going to work, then you guys got to go back to the lab again. So that looks like that's where we're at as of today, as of Friday night. So, that just is what it is. But we will come back. We will fly back around to Canada, Air Canada, and hopefully they do break ground on a deal that does work. But yeah, that's it. That's really all I have for today. Let's see. Yeah, there's really nothing else. I low key do want to go on a spiel about like motherfuckers who leave shitty comments, but I think I've already given them enough platform ready to go right now. So we can just move along. By all means, leave whatever comment you want, because that's helpful for my algorithm. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm gonna just delete that shit, and I'm gonna just make it so that you can't find the page again. You're gonna have to like go on another fucking platform and tell me how bad I am. But yeah, I love constructive criticism. That's all well and good. I love a nice comment. That's why I always say to leave nice comments. It's always appreciated. That's on youtube.com, but you can do it on Spotify. You could do it on TikTok, the old ticky-tacky. I can't recall if you can leave comments on Apple Podcasts, but I know you can leave the stars and stuff. And I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can leave a comment nowadays. I'm sure the technology is there. I just never use Apple Podcasts. But a way that is more helpful than any of those things in terms of algorithm-related things. And honestly, if you are a newsie, patreon.com/ZaneNews, if you become a newsie and you want to tell me that I suck, you want to tell me that I need to use syllables more, you want to tell me XYZ, blah, 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 by all means, you're paying me money. So I'll listen for a little bit. I'll entertain you. By all means, I'll keep your comments because you're paying me. You're giving me money to waste my time. But if not, then, sorry, you've missed the point, right? You're just not really understanding why I do this every fucking day, But that's okay. That's fine. At the end of the day, it's all good. It's all right. I do appreciate having anyone saying anything because it means that you at least tried. Even if you only got in like a few seconds, you said, "P.U., this stinks." At least you tried. At least you gave it a go. And for that, I got to say thanks. I do. So I know this is a bit weirder of an intro, but I saw that from a few days ago and I was like, look, y'all really trying to ruin my goddamn fucking month. And that is a shame. It is a shame. The vibes are so fucking terrible. But you know what? We move. Overall, I am in good spirits. I am having a good day and I'm having a good month and it is a good life. But hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.